The sun had barely risen above the skyline, its golden rays painting the streets in a soft morning glow. Cars moved lazily across the avenue, people shuffled with coffee cups in hand, and the town square hummed with its usual rhythm. Inside a small downtown convenience store, the air smelled faintly of freshly mopped floors and overbrewed coffee. The hum of the refrigerator coolers blended with the soft buzz of a neon sign blinking in the window. It was the kind of ordinary place people stopped in quickly, on their way to work, after school runs, or while filling up gas. But today, something unusual was about to unfold. An older black man, maybe in his late 60s, walked in slowly, the weight of years visible in his gait. His posture was proud though, straight-backed, shoulders squared, with an air that spoke of discipline. He wore a simple jacket over a plain shirt, his jeans slightly faded but clean, and his boots polished. His face carried the lines of a man who had lived through both storms and sunshine, someone who had seen enough to understand patience and hardship. In his hand, he clutched a short grocery list, written in neat handwriting on a folded piece of paper. Just a few things, he murmured to himself, adjusting his glasses as he scanned the aisles. Bread, milk, some coffee. To any onlooker, he was just another man buying breakfast essentials. But to him, every trip outside carried weight. Years of living in a world that didn't always welcome him had taught him that even the smallest errands could turn into tests of dignity. Behind the counter stood a young store clerk, barely in his 20s, distractedly scrolling on his phone. Next to him, leaning with a false sense of authority, was an off-duty police officer. The officer had come in earlier for a cup of coffee and had decided to linger, arms folded across his chest, uniform pants tucked neatly into his boots, his holster still at his hip. His presence filled the room like a shadow. The veteran walked calmly toward the cooler to grab milk, then headed down the bread aisle. His movements were steady, his eyes focused, but he could already feel the officer's gaze following him. That sharp, suspicious look, like a hunter eyeing prey. The officer muttered something under his breath to the clerk. The young man chuckled nervously. When the veteran approached the counter to pay, the officer straightened up, clearing his throat in that exaggerated way meant to draw attention. "Hey," the officer said sharply, his tone cutting through the quiet shop. "What are you doing here?" The veteran blinked, surprised. "I'm shopping. Just picking up a few things." He held up his items, his voice calm, respectful, measured. The officer stepped closer, his eyes narrowing. "Shopping, huh?